So I'm at the terminal in Portugal, packed. It was like probably, I was surprised to see like a lot. It was like 6 black people. But I was surprised because it was a lot more black people. I thought I was going to be the only black person in the terminal. But it was a few of us. So finally our plane, Portugal, arrives. We board. It takes about, from New Jersey to Portugal, it takes about like probably what, how many hours? Probably like 16 hours, 12, 14, one of them. So we board, and I'm resting, you know, like peacefully, because I know my mom has money, so she's not going to be hungry. Her flight is paid for. She's confirmed. She's ready to go to Miami. It breaks my heart that she can't come with me, but at least I know that I made reservations. At least I know that she wouldn't have been sitting at the airport trying to figure out what to do with no money. And it's like, how am I going to get home? I'm in Jersey. How am I going to get to Miami? I made sure to take care of all of that before I left. If I wouldn't have been able to take care of my mom, I wouldn't have gone on the trip, period. So I made sure she was straight, and that was the only reason why I went to the terminal and was able to feel comfortable boarding. Boarded Portugal's plane. Okay. We fly out. You know, it's a long flight. A really long flight. So finally we slept. It was an overnight. Was it overnight, or did we actually got to Portugal the next day? The next day, it was early morning. So we slept on the plane. We arrived the next day. And so we landed. Now, Portugal's terminal, my flight to Belgium was for 6 a.m. in the morning. Portugal, there was a delay in the flight. Like back where I was at, in Miami, in Jersey, they were like, oh, when we were supposed to go and board, there was a slight delay. So we arrived to Portugal later than we were supposed to. And our flight to Belgium, from Portugal to Belgium, is like an hour, because Portugal and Belgium are like an hour away, like an hour flight away. But we arrived exactly like, literally, we arrived like at 5:45, 5:30 a.m. That's basically when people are already on the plane ready to leave to go. So basically the Portugal terminals are packed, and it's a long line, and it's no organization, and you don't know which line you're supposed to be going to, or who's directing the people to Belgium to go here, or who's directing the people to Portugal here. There's no direction, there's no nothing. So now I have to put on my thinking caps again. I saw security like kind of notifying people. They had like one security with like probably 1,000 people in the terminal. How are you going to get people on their flights when you only have one person with like the yellow vest or whatever to tell people where to go? So I said, forget this. I know what time it is. It's 5:45. I'm not missing this plane. I'm not missing this flight, period. So I get out the line, because I had got in the line originally. I get out the line, and I basically went up to the man and I said, I have a flight for Belgium at 6. He said, Belgium is about to leave. Hurry up. It was me who had the people yelling Belgium. Everybody who's going to Belgium, line up here, hit the terminal, if I had not said anything, nobody would have been at Belgium, sweetheart. We would have had to wait for the next flight, or maybe we would have all been returned back to Miami if they didn't have one. Who knows? But it just took one person to just think and say, this is a lot of colossal amounts of people here. It's disorganization. There's no way you're going to know what's going on with your flight, or what you gotta go and ask directly. And that's what I did. When the people found out that there were people from Belgium that were like still left over that had to take a flight and they were delayed, yo, now this is really when we started acting. This is really when Home Alone hit. Like, the way those people had us running, like, it was crazy. So let me tell you, the dude is like, Belgium, like, go, if you're going to Belgium, go to the checkout line. And then more people joined because they were now realizing that some people's flights were delayed. So let's go. It was so urgent and the plane was so ready to leave that they didn't even check, like, they didn't even have us take off our shoes. They just put your bag on the thing, and they just looked at it real quick, and they didn't even thoroughly like do the whole check that they do. They just basically ran through things. And after that, the lady, she was suited up, I remember, and she basically took off running and was like, everybody, let's go, let's go, let's go. So picture it. We're basically in the line. They're like half checking us because that's how urgent it is for us to like hit it, or this plane is gonna leave. The lady, she finally gets everybody together. She starts running. She starts running in her heels, and she's like looking back like, everybody, let's go, let's go. We're all running. So we're running. So now we really looking like Home Alone when the mom and the dad and the family woke up late. And then you saw the music was like dun, 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 dun. And then you saw the whole family rushing, like running to the terminal. That was us. So she's running, we're running before we can get on like this little bus to ride us to the plane, because it was a distance from you have to take a bus in order to ride to the plane, because the plane was like way on the other side. So we had to take a bus. We had to do checkout again. We had to check in again. They checked us in real quick. They put us on the bus. And now everybody's nervous. Like, we're like, and then we were on the bus for a minute. So we were all like, I could see everybody was nervous, and we were like, what's the holdup? You know, like, where are the people? Like, they need to hurry up and check in so we can leave. So finally everybody gets on the bus. I felt like I kind of calmed down because I realized they already radioed them people on the plane that we were coming, because we're on the bus. So I was pretty sure they weren't going to leave, because I know they were already, if you get on the bus, they've already alerted the pilot, like, you know, whatever their system is, that more people are coming. Wait. And they were waiting. So we take the bus. They're riding us to the little mini bus thing. They're riding us to the plane. We get, you know, off the little mini bus, and we basically get on the plane with our bags, our handbags that we put overhead. And because, you know, we checked our bags from like the States, so that was gonna be carried over with us like separately, but we had our like little bags or whatever that we can carry and put overhead. And so I just remember everybody getting off that bus, and we were just all relieved, and I was relieved. And I mean, what I went through from just going from Miami to Portugal, you guys already are probably exhausted. Okay, we finally get on the plane. The plane is basically delayed because now the plane to Belgium is delayed because they don't want to miss anybody. They're waiting for everybody to make sure everybody gets on, which was really nice because, you know, like really for real, like had I not spoke up, we would have been sitting at that terminal until finally they would have just like forgot about us, and we would have just said, hey, we have a flight for Belgium, and they would have said Belgium, they've already left, had I not said anything. So like, that's a lesson, guys. Like, don't be scared or feel intimidated because you're in another country and it's another culture and you feel like maybe it's disrespectful or you want to follow the rules. No, like if something doesn't make sense, address it. It didn't make sense. The organization wasn't there. And I knew that the flight was leaving at 6. It's 5:45 a.m. So we're supposed to be boarding. Why isn't anybody calling for Belgium? So, you got to basically like courageously go up and handle business and don't be afraid. So finally, everyone boards the plane. It takes about an hour from Portugal to Belgium. Finally land in Belgium. We get our bags. Our bags are like circulating through the little circle thing. We get our bags. And my hotel was right across from the airport. So thankfully, because when I basically changed the reservations in Miami, I had to change the hotel as well, because it was like a package. It was like you change the reservations for the ticket or whatever the case may be, but the dates for the hotel might not be available to you. So I had to change basically the flight and the hotel and get like a whole separate package. So I had a new hotel, new dates. I got into Belgium on the 3rd, and I remember the hotel, all I had to do was just walk across the street and from the airport, and I was there. I was staying at the it's a well-known hotel, I forgot, but it was a 5-star hotel. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I had a suite. I forgot, but it was right across from the airport. And I remember, concierge, they greeted me. Hello, how are you? Let me go ahead and give you your keys to your room. Let me go ahead and, bring you up and show you. Very nice, very, very courteous. I get to my room, and all I did was I flopped myself on the bed, and I cried a little bit because I felt bad, because my mom, by that time I knew she was in Miami, because it's the next day. I knew she was in Miami. I was very, very like hurt, but at the same time I was happy because I, made my little dream come true of going to Europe. So I had made reservations in Miami for a lot of things. I had made 2 tickets for not only flight and hotel for me and my mom, but I made 2 ticket reservations for us to eat dinner inside the Eiffel Tower. So dinner reservations at the Eiffel Tower, that was supposed to be for the it was supposed to be for the what did I make reservations for? I made it for the 4th, because remember, I thought that the 6th was when I was going to be doing dinner in the sky. So I said I'm going to do the Eiffel Tower on the 4th, and then the 6th I'm going to do dinner in the sky, because of that mix up, that misunderstanding. So I was just kind of like, man, there is no Eiffel Tower tonight. No. Yeah, I was flying. I was supposed to be, I made the reservations at first for the 4th. And then I made the reservation. Okay, let me see. I arrived on the 3rd. Yeah. I arrived on the 3rd. So that night, I had reservations for the Eiffel Tower. And I'm trying to think back, like, what day did I make the reservations for the Eiffel Tower? I came in the 3rd. I made the reservations in America. I made the reservations for the 4th. That's what it was. Yeah. I made the reservations for the 4th. And then because I thought that the dinner in the sky was the 6th. So the next day, you know, reservations for the Eiffel Tower, you know, it was for like, I think 2 or something like that, like 2-ish. It was an afternoon appointment. It was an afternoon dinner, like a lunch, but like a lunch dinner type of thing. But remember, because of the error, I thought that it was the 6th that I was going to do dinner in the sky, but really it was the 4th. So how am I going to be at 2 events at the same time? I booked the Eiffel Tower reservations for the 4th. The dinner in the sky is for the 4th. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because how am I going to be in 2 locations at once? Dinner in the sky was scheduled for 12. And the Eiffel Tower reservations was scheduled for 2. Dinner in the sky is going to take a long time. I'm going to be way past my reservation for the Eiffel. So I'm like, at this point thinking, I'm not going to Paris. I'm not going into Paris. It was like the trip became like a mess. It was like I made it, but the trip, it was like in shambles because of the sudden changes and the sudden, you know, just unexpected events that happened, mistakes that were made. But God is so good because the concierge, he ended up, the concierge that was responsible for me, he basically was so kind. And I went downstairs after, like, you know, recovering from my little sadness and tiredness because I was on a plane for like maybe 20 hours. I went downstairs and I said, I have reservations for dinner in the sky tomorrow at 12. I don't know. I mean, I said, I don't know if, because, you know, it's Europe, so I want to be safe. So I said, well, I have an extra ticket because, mind you, I booked it for my mom too, but my mom back in Miami. So I said, well, I asked the concierge guy, I said, well, I want to be safe and make sure that, you know, I'm okay in Europe. I have a second ticket that, you know, I don't think should go to waste. And also I would feel safe if maybe somebody from your staff went with me. So I was trying to see if somebody from their staff could just, like, you know, take the ticket. It's a free ticket, and, you know, go with me to dinner in the sky. So then the concierge guy was like, I'll give you my daughter. I'll tell my daughter. I said, oh, really, your daughter? He was like, yes, I'll tell my daughter. I said, oh, okay, cool. How old is your daughter? He was like 21. And I said, okay, well, just tell her to bring her ID. And, you know, and 12, that's basically the reservation for the dinner in the sky. And then so I had somebody to go with. I was going to meet a new friend. I literally had a free ticket. Who was I going to go with? So, I mean, I'm going to ask somebody to go with me. And plus transportation, I'm like, okay, after that, I was like, well, you know, the taxis, you know, how am I going to get over to the event? You know, how far is the event from the hotel? And, you know, I was going to have the hotel order me a taxi to take me. But what's so dope is God is good. The next day when I'm thinking that, oh, my taxi is going to be outside waiting for me, the concierge guy, his daughter, I met her. Her name is Dorcas, which is my friend to this day. And she was so pretty, like brown skin, pretty girl. And we talked, introduced ourselves to each other, and it was an instant vibe. It was instant connection. She was cool. And so the dad, the concierge, it was actually his day off. And so he said, I'm going to take you guys to the, I know, because, you know, they live in Europe. So he said, I'm going to take you to the dinner in the sky. You don't have to pay for a taxi. So he took us in his car and he drove us to the site. And I felt like, wow, that's so nice. Like, you see how God helps you out? Like, when things go wrong, he makes them go right. So I didn't even have to pay for taxi. I got a partner to go with, so I didn't have to waste my ticket. I blessed somebody, like, even if it was my mom, I got to bless somebody with an opportunity of a lifetime. So, you know, I was doing a good deed and I got a free ride. So that's what's up. So he took us to the, what is it? The Atonium? What is it called? The, Oh, my legs. The it's called the Atomium or something like that. I don't know. Like, I forgot what the site is called, but if you research Dinner in the Sky, you'll know exactly the location. So just look it up. So we got there, and we got there on time. That's the one place that we got. That's the only place where I got on time too, because y'all know everything that I went through prior, I told y'all about. That's the one thing that we got on time to, and we got there super early. So we got there early, and we were just talking and getting to know each other. And she found out that I'm a nurse, and she actually was in nursing school. And so we had that in common. And I was telling her about the craziness of my trip, how my mom had to go back to Miami. I had to pay extra to send her back home. And I was like, I was supposed to go to Paris today, but I couldn't do 2 events at once, because of the mistake that I made. My reservations basically for 2 is lost. Like, I wanted to go to Paris, but dot. So she was like, oh, my mom, she has business in Paris. She's actually going to Paris tonight, and she's going in the private car. So you see how God works? Like, do you see how God works? She was like, I could ask my mom, like, she's going into Paris because she buys merchandise, and she basically is a businesswoman. She sells or something like that. And she goes into Paris to buy them in bulk. And it just so happened that she was going into Paris that night. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we do the event, we basically go into like the event hall. We get like our wristbands to basically gain us entry. We had lockers. We put our belongings in not our cell phones, but we put like our purses and stuff in lockers, locked. And then we got on, we sat down at the table, and then the construction cranes, they're connected to the table, and then they just propel you up and lift you up until you're mid-air and you're having dinner. And I chose my chef from Miami because it's like 12 chefs. So I chose a seafood chef. And basically we had seafood, we had the entree, we had the start, the middle, the finish, the dessert, lots of liquor, lots of champagne, lots of wine. I was so tipsy, bro. Like, I was in another galaxy. And it's like, we were just kind of like, yo, this is like one chance in a lifetime. Like, this is a dream come true. Because my G, we were eating in the air, bro. Who eats in the air? Who eats in the air? So, and I'm gonna post a clip of what it looks like. I took a whole bunch of pictures, but I had deleted, that Instagram that I had, I deleted that Instagram. And the Facebook that I previously had from like all the way from high school, where I had posted all my pics, I deleted that one too. So my memories are in my head, but which is the best place for them to be, because like you experience them. But for you guys to get an idea of what it looks like, Dinner in the Sky, I'll probably put like a clip up of like, what it looks like, so you can get an understanding. So we were up there for like an hour 30, 2 hours. Then the construction, after we were done eating dessert and stuff like that, and it was this nice lady with blonde hair. She just kept on feeding us more wine. She's like, well, you want more champagne? You want more? And the bottle, like, she was pouring it, and we were like, yeah. Honey, I needed liquor because all that I went through to get here, I needed all the alcohol that God could give me, honey. So I basically was go. We got down. They put us down. We safely got down, and then me and Dorcas, we went to the restaurant that was near, and we basically were both tipsy. So we decided to sit down and get some coffee to, wear off the tipsiness. And we just sat down and we're talking or whatever, and she was like, speaking to me about certain things, and she was like, well, yeah, because I'm a Jehovah's Witness. And I was like, you're a Jehovah's Witness? I was like, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Bro, we had no idea from the time we got introduced to each other, from the time we, was up there in the sky together. We did not know that we were a part of the same faith. So it's like the Jehovah's Witnesses were like a brotherhood. So we all look out for each other. It's a true brotherhood. It's true love. So that's why things were going okay, even though it was chaotic, because Jehovah was like backing it up. I had no idea. And her dad and mom is a Jehovah's Witness. So I was like, that's why everything is falling into place. Although it was falling apart, everything fell into place. Thank you, Jehovah, because you are so bomb. So I got up and I screamed, and I was like, oh my God, sis. We hugged, and I was like, oh my God, this whole time, we're sitting up here vibing and talking, and you're so dope. And I didn't even know that you're like a witness. I did not know that. She was like, me either. That's crazy. It was not a coincidence that happened. You know what I'm saying? Things happen for a reason. Out of all the hotels I could have rebooked, I booked at that hotel. And I didn't know nobody in Europe. So Europe, if you're alone, it could be unsafe. So God, Jehovah, he made sure that he directed me to the right hotel where I could be guided and I could be, protected, and I wouldn't be alone out here in these, European streets. So it made sense. I was like, this is so Jehovah. He's totally behind this, because he knew I was alone. He knew that I didn't have my mom. He knew that I needed I needed help. I was alone. So he provided you guys. Yay! We're so happy. We're lit, right? Bro. So we leave, and it was actually her dad dropped us off, and then her mom was gonna pick us up. So she called her mom, because her mom said, call me when you guys are done. She called her mom, and then after that, she told her mom, Mom, do you know that Alexandra's a Jehovah's Witness? And she was like, what? Same reaction as me. And then after that, I was like, we were talking or whatever on the phone, and Dorcas was like, Mom, we're going into Paris. She was supposed to go to Paris today, but she didn't get to go. We're going to Paris. You're going to Paris for business. Let's go, And the mom was like, yeah, I'm going to Paris tonight. Yeah, let's go. Pack a few things so we can go. So my reservations for Paris was that day on the 4th. But I basically was still going to Paris in a private car. And had I not had them, I would have had to take the train alone. Dangerous. So it was all Jehovah. He was really working. So I said, okay, no problem. So she came to pick us up. She took me to my hotel. I had a duffel bag. I packed my duffel. I packed a little bag of just clothes to wear to leave, and clothes to, night clothes, because we were going to be spending the night and waking up in Paris. So I bought, night clothes and clothes to wear for the morning, so we can we can walk around. And I didn't anticipate for me to eat inside the Eiffel Tower anymore, because I had lost the reservation. It was for the 4th. My mistake. So I basically was just excited to be able to go see Paris, right? So we drive in to Paris. We got in the car, and then we started to head to Paris. So we are driving in the Belgium streets, it's trees and forests, and it was so beautiful. And it's we stopped by this supermarket so we can get some snacks for the trip, because it's from Belgium to Paris in a car is 2 hours, an hour and 30. So we went to the supermarket, and we got some snacks. for the trip. After we left the supermarket, we got back in the car and we were headed to Paris.